So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a game called The Battle for Normandy, Deluxe Edition from GMT Games. This is obviously a big D-Day Normandy game that's designed by Danny Holt. And this is a big old box. So this is the deluxe version of an older game. It's been around for a long time. They kind of put together this new version of it. Nice maps, nice new counters, nice kind of updated rule set. So we'll have a quick look at the back here. So this is a big game. Okay, you can see here just how big this map is. And by map, I mean it's 7 22 by 34 maps. This is the monster of all monster games in that sense. It's going to have 11 counter sheets in it, and this is going to take you the whole rest of your life to play it. But it plays from 2 to 6 players, so you can play a big team game of this over the course of however long you would like, and you're probably going to get a really fun experience out of having done that. But yeah, think about this scale, and each turn represents 6 hours. So like, D-Day is going to take you 4 turns, and that's like, what? 1 or 2 hexes inland. Like, this is how big the scope of this game is, just so that we're clear. Okay, there's a number of different scenarios in this that are obviously smaller. You don't have to play the whole campaign, but just so you know what you can get out of this. So let's kind of crack it open and see what we've got going. So, the first couple of things we have here, okay, let's look at the Battle for Normandy 2. So this is the rule book. And this is a big old rule book here. So this is nearly 50 pages. Now, there's a lot of this is full color, so it's a lot of examples and other things, but this is the rules, right? Here's the supply rules, the movement rules, HQ activations, all the different vehicle types and infantry types and nationalities, all of the different breakdown of what the units, values and numbers mean. But this is just the rules. What I do appreciate is that they have a good old-fashioned index on the back. So many games don't have that, and a game this size needs to have one. So then we have this scenario book, and so there's a whole bunch of different scenarios, and I don't see a campaign, but I presume you just like do the whole thing. But yeah, the scenario book, 68 pages. So looks like this is black and white in parts, but color in a lot of others. So his story is a good primer to the game. So we've got a nice little Omaha Beach, so you can play one map and just a little bit of it. Operation Cobra, Cherbourg specifically. So do we have one that's got like everything in it? That's a variant. Or do you just like start the beginning? Okay, I'm not sure how this is particularly organized from that standpoint, but I'm sure that there is rules for what the actual campaign is. Maybe we'll find that here, but okay, there's a ton of stuff. So these are the play aids, and this is interesting. Some of these are kind of really glossy. It's not something you typically see. So CRT, I guess he's flipped this way. Different unit types and terrain effects chart. And we have our game turn track and weather and time of day, AM, PM, or nighttime. So we have June, July, and August. It looks like the extent of the game. It ends kind of around there. These look like, do you cut these up? I wonder if you do, that's interesting. Only because of the way they're oriented. But this is going to be tank drifts and landing phases that are then going to hop onto the board for the different landings. And here's the rest of those. German record chart, so air interdiction levels at various on the different maps. Cherbourg port destruction, so this is abstracting some of those bits and pieces that were important and will play a factor into it. And then there's the Allied record track as well. Random events tables. This is one-sided, so we're just going to leave this out. German AAA location log. Oh, I wonder if this is glassy because you're supposed to write on here with like a non-permanent marker. That's interesting. I'll be curious to see what that looks like. Because this is their Allied Air Allocation log. Maybe you just put counters there. That's interesting, I don't know. Because it's just those that are glossy and the rest of them are this regular kind of standard semi-gloss. I think that's interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And some 3-map campaign variant movement charts. So, that's a lot of that paper. Okay. We have 11 counter sheets, which we will have a look through here in a second. We have the 7 maps, which we will look through here as well. And then we have a very small deck of interdiction cards, and these look like they just have a numbered value on them, and that's the interdiction level, or it might be a modifier. Yeah, they just say interdiction 1, 2, 3, or there's a couple 4s at the end. Very small little deck of cards for those. Shipping insert, which we don't need, we will toss that. You get a bag of bags, which I promise you is not big enough. And then we're going to get a set of dice here. These are grey with the cream pips on them. Those are really nice. And this is kind of like a beigey with red numbers. These are actually, whoopsies. I like the kind of off-standard colours. I think that those are really neat. I always like a set of dice that isn't just like red with white pips. I don't know. Sometimes you want a little bit of fresh change. Okay, what we'll do is we'll look at the maps, and then we'll look at the counters. So, I do not know if these are in the correct order, because they are ordered, so we're just going to have a quick look at these. Oh, man. Okay. So this is Battle for Normandy, Into the Bocage. So this is the Into the Bocage scenario, which is printed on the back of map F. So here's what I'll do is I'll pull these up here. So I just want to show you these charts that we had here. This is Omaha's landing stuff, and if you look, it mirrors this precisely that's printed on the map here. And I do wonder if that's just done for space-saving purposes, so you don't have to cram everything on there. But the back of this map is the Battle for Normandy Operation Totalize. So we've got different scenarios on them, but this one looks like this is probably for the campaign. Hard to say. I don't really know how all these stack together to make the big old map, because there's a lot of different ones. So, and I say that because here we have the Cherbourg map. Great. Here's the Cherbourg map, map A. And this one doesn't have anything printed on the back, and it isn't. So this one has it's a scenario over here. This one is not scenario based. But you can see here, kind of a standard Simonich style map with the quality of the printing. Everything's very clear on there. Love that. Okay, let's get map B. Map B is also single-sided. So maybe that one map that we had is just for particular scenarios, hard to say. So this is map B. So this is going to stack underneath or below, south of the Cherbourg one, right? Here's the Cherbourg Peninsula that's going to go up there. We have Saint-Lô down here in the bottom corner. And then we got Pontehoc, so we're going to land our rangers kind of right over there as well. So we've got Carentan down here, Saint-Mère-Église, so we'll have our airborne troops dropping and trying to take on and secure all of these crossroads and villages. That's awesome. And then we have map C, again single-sided. That might be a theme coming up now. So here we've got Omaha as well as Gold Sword and Juneau, and a massive, we have Bayou or Bayou, depending on where you're from and how you want to pronounce that. And then we have Caen down here, so we'll have all the Commonwealth forces landing, trying to take Caen for the next 3 months. It wasn't that long, that was facetious. Next up we have map D. Here we're going further down the western coast. Look at all this bocage and awful terrain. Love that for us. That's going to be absolutely nasty to kind of slog through. Love that. That was D, and then we have map E. He says, if I could open it. Here's fillets, where the fillets pocket gets its name. Charging through, encircling the Germans and fillets, and seeing if they can't escape or hold on to that. Score some victory points, I would presume. And then we have map F, where we have a Vranchet, and more map, kind of crazy. And then the last map that we have is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There you go, and I'm my ABCs, how about that? We start getting into the more hilly, mountainous, not really mountainous, but not those flat Normandy kind of plains, basically. Well, not plains, but it's a much more rugged terrain the further inland you get. So those are all of the maps that you get. What we'll do is we'll have a look at these counter sheets. Again, 11 counter sheets. Yeah. Even with bags, good luck getting this back in the box. They give you a massive box, but what are you going to do? So here we have a bunch of Americans, hence they're green. So we have all the various different types of Shermans and Jacksons and anti-tank guns. We've got mechanized infantry with our half tracks. I think we even have like priests down here. We got is that an M8? I think. Yeah, I think it's an M8 armored car. Well, I can't tell if that's a Chaffee or a Stuart. Who knows? Anyway, and of a whole bunch of infantry we got going on here, all organized in their different colored formations, and then with all the various names on them as well. We have more Americans, and it looks like we have a bunch of, I presume, British, but we'll call them Commonwealth just for the sake of it, because I'm not sure how the colors break out. There was a diagram in there, but I'm sure it's like we have like British and then Canadians and South Africans and all sorts of different colors for all the different nations that contributed. We'll put it that way. And a bunch of HQs down here as well. And these are colored to correspond, I presume, with their various formations. I presume these RCC. Now, the blue ones, typically that's Free French, but who knows. Whole bunch of Germans. Whole bunch of Germans. Lot of Germans. And these counters are quite small, and they do have a lot of information on them, so just, this is quite overwhelming to look at as a counter sheet. But I think once they're punched out, it might be a little bit easier because the values are quite large and the rest of the stuff is less important. It's just the colors, basically. Whole bunch of Germans. Here we have, I think, a lot of our... So we've got naval units here, German command. And then we have a bunch of tank units. But we've got airborne troops here. And then we have, these are probably more like the static garrison style units. A bunch of strong points we're going to put out. These are all dual-sided as well. Same thing here, a bunch of allied, I presume kind of garrison style units. Or they might be breakdown, reinforcement, remnant units. Commandos, replacement points. Control markers, looks like probably. Tanks. Whole bunch more American units, whole bunch more German units. And this is the expansion counter sheet. So this one and this one are the expansion counter sheet. So perhaps we won't, maybe we'll hold on to these and not punch these two, so we'll only have to punch 9 counter sheets, play some of that, and then add the expansion in, who knows. But so if you play the expansion, let me know. But that is a lot in this game. This is a monster game. If ever you found a monster game, this is it. A huge product, a ton of stuff in it, all new revised rules, revised production, top quality. But the Battle for Normandy Deluxe Edition from GMT Games, if you have played this in any form, please let us know how it is in the comments. If you are embarking upon this odyssey, I also want to know. But this is a big game. As such, it's not probably for everyone, but there are enough scenarios where even if you never played the campaign and you played just through those scenarios, you're going to have gotten a lot of play out of this game, that's for sure. So thank you very much for tuning in. Battle for Normandy from GMT Games. I've been Alexander for playersaid.com.